Hi, and welcome to Tennis Volley Talk, episode 67 by Brian Danielson. Hey, today what we're going to be doing is covering a little bit of the Madrid, Italy Open tennis results from this last weekend, the wins, and then a little bit about some of the players that were odds-on favorite to get to slightly injured, and for the upcoming French Open, and they'll be ready for the French Open. It's just their bodies. Nowadays, it's such a fine art. If they feel something that may have pulled or anything, they will. In order to rest and everything. And then also Rafa Nadal had a very good showing in Italy, in Madrid, where he into the quarterfinals, I believe, but he ended up losing. But his body didn't seem to break down. He made it through 4 matches, so that's a good thing for Rafa going into the French Open, and he's in Rome playing this week in Rome. So with that now the winner of the women's singles was Iga Arena Sabalenka, but it was a 3-set match, and the whole 3 sets were wonderful sets all the way around. Sabalenka, she tends to have the strokes and the serve and the hard shots and everything, but she just can't put it over the finish line at certain times when she needs to, and even on clay. But Iga fought her way through this and in doing really good with her play in that final. She actually beat her 7-5. 4-6, and then 7-6 in a tiebreaker, and it was just back and forth way around in that tiebreaker, and both of them played excellent tennis all the way through. Almost a 3-hour match, maybe a little over 3 hours, and but it was just an unbelievable tennis final for the women's then too. The men's actually ended up being 2 guys that have been in different finals before and everything. But anyway, it was Andrei Rublev, and he beat him. Now, alias Felix, he hadn't been. He came back after several injuries this playing himself into it, and he really played a good tournament all the way around, making it into the finals. And this went 3 sets, very good final. However, at the very last, it gave Rublev the match in the last I think he double faulted. It wasn't serving very good, not very consistent with his serves, but anyway, he 7-5, 7-5, which was also a very good match all the way around. 3 sets all the way around, very well, very entertaining all the way around. You YouTubers, be sure and subscribe, like, and comment whatever comments you like on what you want me to do, or whatever you like on this podcast. Let me know. I would like to hear that. And for you podcasters, be sure and if you want to take a look at the racket of the day coming up pretty soon, I'll be showing it to everybody. And also another shout out to everybody that made comments on my channel. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Those 2 episodes were very special to me to do, so I really appreciate that. And with that, if you want to take a look at the racket, then go to my tennis YouTube, Tennis Volley Talk, if you want to take a look here pretty soon. But overall, the ones that were actually injured were actually Casper Ruud. Uh, he's not injured, but he got upset. But then he lost to Felix. But then we had Carlos Alcaraz. He has an arm problem, forearm problem here, and he had it all wrapped up. He did good. He was still hitting the ball really good, but he just didn't have the consistency of playing or hitting the right shots when he needed to. And then you had Yannick Sinner. Now he ended up because he had a calf or a leg injury and pulled something, and he pulled the plug, and he just wanted to rest, forego Rome, and be ready for the French, because he's been on a big tear, and he was probably one of the odds-on favorite making it at the final in Madrid this year. But he pulled the plug, and he's resting. And then we have Daniel Ahmed, that actually was running after a shot up from way back, and then he pulled something, and then he ended up pulling the plug also. And very wise choice coming this close to a major Grand Slam tournament that way. So those guys that are resting, and they're well-needed rest, foregoing Rome this week. But you have a lot of the big players in Rome, Matty Keys, you have Iga, Arena, you have, I believe, you have Felix is playing in it, I believe, and there's a few others. And Rafa Nadal, he's in Rome, and he made it past a good match today, and won in 2 sets, so 3 sets. So he ended up winning, and so he's on the winning ways. So hopefully he can get it all kind of together and see what happens with everything. And with that too, now on today with the racket of the day, what we actually have, the racket of the day, this is actually a very nice looking racket. It's a Ted Davis Classic 3. Now, with that too in mind, it's a very nice looking racket. It's a red colored racket. Actually, this is from racket is actually from probably the 60s or 70s, right into the 80s. Kind of how you can tell is by the crest on this crest here gives that it is in that era and that age. And that one right there, this crest here, makes it anywhere from it could be in the 70s basically with this one, because they had the crests. They had 8 different crests for these rackets here, and these were more of a nicely crafted rackets back in the day too, and very nice, pretty racket. It's a full fiberglass all the way around the head, and then on the shaft too, fiberglass laminate wood and stuff. So very nice, colorful racket too, with the details on it. That's Davis, and the red, little lighter red instead of the maroon kind of red right on the head of the racket here. With that being and these rackets are actually Tad Davis, T.A. Davis, he 1930, he started making the rackets, and he was a actual medical professional who made rackets in his garage for him and all of his friends to play tennis with. So that kind of got started with making tennis rackets back in the day. And this is they have 3 patents with this too, and one of the patents is which was a cross grain lamination, and which they still do on all of the rackets that they made, is that nation of that. Now, like I said, this is from 70s, 80s, right in that era. Just right, and this was one of the classic three that they made in the Davis realm rackets of that day, before they started these early 80s, and then one of the last ones that were made. Davis rackets were actually surprising thing with these, with their Davis rackets too. They were also distributed in Sweden by von Braun company. So they distributed them within Sweden. So they actually had said sold Davis rackets wherever they sold the rackets from the company von Braun company. And with that too, this that has quality racket, which and actually, like I said, he started in the 1930s and produced high quality rackets, which were often used as showcase for the natural beauty of the fine woods they used with that. So, with the fineness of, and with some of the rackets, the wood rackets out there, and you would look at them and you'd say they were kind of, oh, that's a good racket. It doesn't look as fancy as the Davis rackets either. And, the Ted Davis right there with the butt of the racket there, Ted with that too. And even before this, they had the Victor racket, which then Tad kind of took over from Victor. But that's another story in itself. But they had the classic racket, they had the Imperial Deluxe rackets in this kind of the brand name of rackets here too. So that's a very good racket. So you YouTubers, you get to see the racket here that I'm talking about. Very nice maroon and red on the racket, and the design of the lighter red and the little boxes there. And then as the throat goes up, it has the maroon again on that. And so you YouTubers, you're taking a look at the racket, but if you, like, subscribe and make a comment on my channel, but then you podcasters, if you do want to take a look at the racket I'm talking about here, then you can go to my YouTube tennis podcast channel, Tennis Volley Talk, like, subscribe, make a comment, let me know what you like and would like to know. And if you have a few more possibilities of phone interviews coming up. So, that's another thing that I'm going to hopefully have, and take it from there and see what I can do with that. So, with that, that was the racket of the day, and I hope you did like it. It's a very nice looking racket too. Very, very professional looking, a lot more so than some of the other wood rackets there in the day, back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, in that era. But they were rather plain looking, pretty much. But this one, very nice, very classic looking racket, like the brand name of the racket. It says classic 3 of all things. So yeah, it kind of does make it nice that way with that. And I do, I will be this next week. I will be also talking a little bit about the Rome tournament, and who's doing, how they're doing in the Rome tournament, and take it from there, and then let you know a little bit about that, and then also see who's doing good in Rome. And what a nice setting that Rome tournament is, because in the whole lot out in the area around the court and everything, they have huge statues on pedestals and are surrounding the court, and it's a very picturesque, nice view of the court, and just rich with history of being there and looking at that court and being on the red clay. All over there is the red clay, not the green clay that they have here in the U.S. But with that, be sure you YouTubers subscribe, like, and make a comment. And you podcasters, if you want to take a look and see what I'm talking about with the racket of the day, be sure and like, subscribe, and make a comment. I do appreciate any comments that you can give over to me, and I hope that you enjoy watching what I do with this. I do like doing it. And if through this year, it's starting to get really nice in the Minnesota area where I'm at. And it's been fairly nice last couple of days, some sun, no rain, clouds. So it's been pretty nice. And I'm starting to get out and play outside. So you guys that are always in the south places where it's always warm and you can play outside, get out there, hit that ball, keep on hitting for the week. And I will keep on hitting. I did hit a little bit, worked on some ground strokes, backhand, forehand, and then working on some serves. And I'm been getting down my serve really well, which I am very pleased about. My forehand's doing pretty good too, being a lot more consistent with that. Backhand, still a little bit of work, but I'm still getting a little bit better each day. Each time I go out there and hit my one-hander, I've always been a one-hander, never have had a two-hander backhand, but that's another thing in itself. I never have been able to do that, but I've always been a one-hander growing up. So I'm getting there with my tennis game. And anybody get out there and work on that game and get going for the summer circuit coming up. I know I will. And everybody get out there, everybody watching today. So every nice week. And I will then be talking to you next week, and we'll take it from there. Have a nice week, everybody.